personality, the personality has no other function in the divine plan than to be the instrument and medium through which the soul can express itself. We must always remember and try to study anything under the divine plan. If we remember the divine plan, then we will be able to know the fitness of the things. The fitness. How it fits in the divine plan. So now we are contemplating upon personality aspect. So what is the function of personality in the divine plan? The only function of personality in the divine plan is to reflect. That means it is used to express the soul. It is a medium, it is an instrument to the soul through which the soul can express itself. Because the soul is to be expressed out. Soul needs an expression. So, soul needs an instrument to express itself, and that instrument is personality. Through personality, the soul expresses itself. Only when the soul is dominant, then the personality can fulfill its complete destiny. Otherwise, it is not fulfilled. This also we have to remember. The soul should be dominant. If the mind is dominant, then soul cannot express properly. So, what is required, what is meant by a spiritual practice is or yoga practice also in its true sense, because what Patanjali has explained in his Yoga Sutras is Yogaha Chitta Vritti Nirodhaha, suspension of the behavior of mind. That state is called yoga. That is what he has given in the aphorism, very beginning. When the behavior of the mind is suspended, then that state is called yoga. It means that unless the behavior of the mind is suspended, you cannot have full expression of the soul. Every being is essentially a soul. Because many times we said that I am the soul, I am this soul. So every being is a soul. But why soul is not able to express itself out? Because of the behavior of the mind. That is the mischief of the mind. That is the trick of the mind. Yes, that is the disturbing factor. Because when the mind The mind, when it behaves in its own way, then the mind is afflicted by desire. Which is called in Sanskrit kama. So there are 5 types of behaviors of mind which is explained by Patanjali. And all these 5 types of behaviors, they can be applied in a good manner or in a wrong manner. Wrong application, right application. So Patanjali has explained very clearly. He has explained first about what are the 5 types of behaviors of mind. And then he has explained what is the right application of the behavior and what is the wrong application of the behavior. The right measure, the wrong measure. When you read the lessons on the yoga of Patanjali, my master, E.K., the master has given, in Geneva, master has given these lessons on yoga of Patanjali, which is there in the form of the book and also in the form of the CD. He has very clearly explained about this. What is a measure, right measure, wrong measure. So when they can be applied, when these measures are applied, when the behavior is applied properly, then we can make use of it by commanding the mind to act in the required manner. But when we are not in the yogic path, then this behavior of the mind is always wrongly applied because mind dominates. When mind is dominant, then soul cannot express itself fully. That's the result.
Yeah, because it is never expressed for the common good.
Yes.
And this is the point.
That's the problem. Because the soul's real expression is love. That is the true expression. That is the true expression. What is the true expression of soul? It is love, because it is radiation. What we call love in its true sense, if you ask what is love, the true answer is, it is the radiation of the soul. But unfortunately, we use this word love for the lower activity of the mind which is influenced by emotion and desire. The mind which is affected by desire, it behaves in a different manner and we call this as love. That is not love. Love is the radiance of the soul. That is love. But that is hindered, that is not properly allowed because of the dominance of the mind. That is the thing. That is why Patanjali says yoga means suspension of this behavior of the mind. But once again, this is wrongly understood by the students of yoga, that this behavior of the mind is to be suspended, so you cannot suspend it so easily. It is wrongly understood by the so-called teachers of yoga, and it is wrongly taught to the students that you have to suspend your mind, which is highly impossible. That is where it is utter failure. That is what Arjuna posed the question to the Lord. How can I have control on my mind when it is going hither and thither, always disturbing? When we sit in prayer and close the eyes, when you close the eyes or open the eyes, it makes no difference, because the one which perceives is mind, not the eye. That is the secret. So you can see the object even when you are closing the eyes. Unless the mind is absorbed merely by closing your senses, it will not bring any solution. What is sensing through taste is mind. So, if your mind is not suspended, then you, even without the object, you can feel the taste. You see, when a person who is very much addicted to coffee, even when coffee is not there, if you say coffee, immediately his mind starts feeling the coffee, the smell, the taste and all these things. That is the behavior of the mind. Even though object is not there before you, all your senses become active towards the object because of the habit. This is the reason. This is abhyasa. This is the habit. So the mind is habituated to sense through the senses, even without the presence of the object also. This is one type of behavior of the 5 behaviors of the mind. If somebody is addicted to chocolate, so if I say chocolate, immediately you feel.
Because it's addicted by sex.
Yes, that is higher addiction. That is the worst addiction, of most dangerous addiction. So the mind immediately reacts to that addiction because of the association with the object. So all this is the behavior of the mind. That is why Patanjali said suspension of the behavior of the mind is what is to be understood as the yogic state. In a yogi, in a true sense, yogi means not outward appearance. You must be very careful to know these things. A yogi will not make an outward appearance that I am a yogi. You can, in the presence of a yogi, you will feel very tranquil. Your mind will be tranquilized just by in the presence of the yogi. Because the yogi is in a state where his mind is suspended from the behavior, it is tranquil. And when you get into the presence of such a person, your mind also gets suspended due to the magnetic influence, due to induction. So that is quite natural phenomenon. There is no need. The yogi will not say that I am a yogi, come to me, I will suspend your mind. That is glamour once again. A real yogi will never try to influence any other person to make his disciple. You find many gurus, so-called gurus, when you say, oh, what are you doing? I am doing Master CV prayer. I can give you a mantra much more stronger than this, better mantra. Come to me. A real yogi or guru will never make such things. There is no need for the guru or for the true guru or yogi to speak out anything. He keeps silence in the mental level. He can speak physically, but mentally because his mind is tranquilized already. When you get into the presence of this person, you are magnetized without any need to express this. in the speech. So this we have to understand. How this is? By the suspension. What happens when the behavior of mind is suspended? Then the soul is allowed to express itself in its full extent. That is the yogic state. When the soul is allowed to express to its full extent, which is possible only by the suspension of the activity of mind, of the behavior of mind, then you can experience the Lord presence everywhere, anywhere. So the yogi is stabilized in this type of experience. So for such a person, his mind, his senses, all this, they will act according to his will. He can use them only when required. When not required, he can keep them shut. Just like a machine. That is possible for a yogi. For us it is not possible. Because we are under the influence of mind.
In German, I think it is easier to understand because we say Denkvermögen. This means the ability to think.
Yes.
So then if you study this with German, then you understand that this is only an ability.
Yes. It is an ability.
Yes. This is the point. This is a certain quality.
Yes.
But this is not in itself the power of will.
It is an ability.
It's an ability.
It is an ability.
So therefore,
And it can be used for this radiance.
approaching this with a German
Yes.
vocabulary, it was a little easy for me to understand.
Yes.
Because it's mind and so on. This is a word, but we have a special word for it.
Yes.
And this is the ability in the human being that it can think.
Yes. In Sanskrit also it's the same. Manas is the ability.
Yes, ability.
What do you call mind is not an object. It is only an ability. So the personality has no other function in the divine plan than to be the instrument and medium through which the soul can express itself. Only when the soul is dominant, is the personality fulfilling its complete destiny. So we have to work in such a manner that the soul is allowed to dominate. So already Punaya has explained to you in spiritual astrology that the soul should dominate mind and matter. Matter and mind. Mind is here in matter. So that is the symbol for Mercury. So that is why Mercury is called the divine messenger. The divine messenger in the Puranas is called Narada. So this shows a balance between mind and matter, and soul is dominant. So a balance, if the soul is dominant and it can balance mind and matter, then this Mercury will be the divine messenger.
This mind is not that has to guide or to dominate.
Yes.
It is
Only to
explanation.
explain, to reflect. It is a reflecting surface. Mind is like it is a reflecting surface which should reflect properly the radiation from the soul. That is the only thing. If the reflecting surface has accumulated any dirt, then the reflection is distorted. You see, suppose you have a mirror. If the mirror has no dust, if it is clean, then you see only your face as it is in the mirror, a reflection of your face. If there is any accumulation of dust on the surface of the mirror, then your face appears to you distorted. The reflection of your face is distorted. So this mind is the reflecting surface. It reflects the light from the soul. So if the mind is not pure, if the mind is distorted, then the reflection is distorted. So your soul expression is completely distorted. Another example, several times told you, when a lake is still, then the water is not moving, then when you look at the lake, you see only the sky, reflection of the sky as it is. So you see upwards, you see into the lake, it's the same. But when the lake is disturbed by the ripples, then what is reflected in the lake is distorted. Suppose there is full moon and the moon is full and very bright. So if the lake is still, you will see the full moon as a reflection in the lake. But if the lake is disturbed by ripples or otherwise, then the moon appears as if broken into pieces. Distortion. So your mind should be made in such a manner. And when can mind reflect fully? When it is its activity, when its behavior is suspended, then only it is possible. As long as the mind is behaving in its own manner, it cannot reflect the light of the soul as it is. That is what Patanjali says. When you are not in yogic state, your behavior is not true behavior of your inner self. So in our daily life, our behavior with our fellow beings is not a true behavior, because you behave in terms of the behavior of your mind, which is disturbed by emotions and instincts, affected by instincts and emotions. Therefore your behavior is in terms of reaction towards the impression about others. That is why our daily life, our mundane life becomes problematic. Problematic not because of others, because of our behavior. Because our mind is not made tranquil. It is just like a disturbed surface of the lake. So when there are ripples, the lake is disturbed. And in our mind, the ripples are all these emotions and all these things. These are the ripples. They have a strong influence on our mind, and therefore there is always a distortion. So that is what is here also explained. The soul should be dominant. That is our aim. Only the soul, when the soul is dominant, is the personality fulfilling its complete destiny. But in none as yet are the divine qualities in full or undisturbed control the expression. We have divine qualities, everybody, and no doubt. But why the divine qualities are not fully expressed? Because it is not allowed by the personality aspect. Personality is nothing but the activity of the mind. So because of this, we are not able to express our soul in its divine, because the expression of soul is divinity. All the divine qualities are the expression of the soul. But they are not fully allowed to express. We are kind, we are sympathetic, we show our pity and we show benevolence. All these things are there, divine qualities. But they are not constant and fully expressed. They are under pressure, they are under limitation. It is because soul is not dominant in us. Soul is dominated by these things, personality.
This real understanding of is very essential.
Yes.
Because it is only an instrument.
Yes.
There is no real power in itself.
No, by itself it cannot. It is a force. It is powerful. But by itself it cannot make it. So it is an instrument. It depends upon how you use the instrument. It is like a knife. Our mind is like a knife, sharp-edged knife. So you can use it to cut the vegetables. You can use it, even if you don't find the blade, you can also use it to shave yourself. But you can also cut yourself and cut others by this, because the sharpness is there. So how it depends upon how you make use of it, the instrument. Each man is unique as regards his soul and personality expression. Each man is unique as regards his soul and expression of personality because of his particular point of spiritual evolution. Because every being is on the path of spiritual evolution. We should not think that only some few chosen are on the spiritual path. No, that is, everybody is on spiritual evolution. It is misinterpreted by the religious forces that only few chosen who have this religion belief only are chosen to be on the spiritual. That is nonsense. Every being is on the spiritual path of spiritual evolution, but at different degree. Each man is unique as regards his soul and expression of personality because of his particular point of spiritual evolution and his inherited equipment and the environing factors which play upon him. So 3 things he has mentioned. One is the point of spiritual evolution. And then inherited equipment. And then